siguiente speaker también viene de Brasil, estuvo con nosotros el año pasado, Bob Wollheim. Bob es socio de UPix y SixPix, organiza el festival de internet y conferencia más importante de Brasil, orientado a los jóvenes, y viene un poco y tiene mucha experiencia internacional. Ha hecho también sus iniciativas de su festival en San Francisco y viene a contarnos un poco. Es una persona muy internacional, conoce el mundo, qué es lo que hay que tener en cuenta antes de venir a Brasil. Así que thank you, Bob, so much. Leave you with the audience.
Thank you, Pablo. Sorry, perdóname por hablar un perfecto portuñol. Yo voy a cambiar para inglés, que no se puede hacer un portuñol en público como acá. So, sorry for that. I'll go for the English. It's an honor to be here, talking a little bit about our country and what's going on down there. The first time I appeared, it's not working here. Oh, here. So, as Pablo said, I do two things. One is UPix, is the largest internet cultural festival in Brazil. We're going to have a little show of that tomorrow afternoon here on the campus, Sala Campus. So if you guys are around, go there and check a little bit more about the internet culture in Brazil. And I'm also establishing a new company called Apps. It's the first business network for developers in the world. The first time I was interviewed by someone at TechCrunch, that's me there. For sure, that's not me on the picture. And again, this is not Brazil, right? This is also Brazil, soccer and beautiful girls, but it's no longer only the thing that defines us. So I decided to, bring to you guys 10 things that you should know before you move yourself or your company or try to create a company in Brazil. Number 10, we're only okay. We're not so great. I hope you guys can see there the numbers. This is GDP growth since 2007. You can see Brazil just a little bit above Spain, below the world GDP growth, very below the emerging, below India. Even Argentina is much better than ours. And China, no one talks about China, that's obvious. So things are not so wonderful as you read on the press or as you read in different places, just saying that, Brazil is booming. There are some reasons that I will show you in a few seconds that make that opportunity interesting, but it's not so easy, it's just okay. So my hint here, when you go, be sure what you choose. What segment, what area, what kind of market, what kind of public. There's a new emerging Class C, for sure is growing a lot. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So first, make sure you choose exactly what you're going to do in Brazil. Number 9, bring your money or bring money, There's not so much money for early stage in Brazil, not so much money for disruptive things, new things. Brazil, the investors, they love copycats, they love things that are success abroad, and then they will invest on that, and they love proven entrepreneur. So if you are a young entrepreneur that never done a business before, that you're trying to do something new and disruptive, you might not get money there. Maybe it's a better idea to take your own money down there. Don't do basic stuff. We have it, We don't need basic stuff, obvious stuff, easy and not cheap, or cheap stuff, There are lots of things that are interesting, and Bruno and Nelson presented a few, like Peixe Urbano and others, baby.com, but these are things that are not cheap. They have big investors, they have investors from abroad. Some of them, when they started in Brazil, they already had money from investors from abroad. So make sure when you go down, you have a financial situation that can afford your business. Another thing, I think it's a myth. We are not so friendly as everyone says. So find a local partner, have a local guy there and just don't act as a stupid colonialist. Brazil is a big country, 200 million people and a big economy, sixth in the world. So there are lots of things that are happening there. So do your research. Check out before you go if you're really taking something that doesn't exist there, if there is still an opportunity, and go with a local guy. Don't do just another social media. We are social. We are on Twitter, we're dominating Facebook, LinkedIn, everything. But when you go down there, make a difference. Bring something new. Bring something that is really different, not just another social media tool that will rock and roll because just because it's Brazil. It will not. Now, I have more 5 hints of things that are booming and happening in Brazil. There's a whole new market, as I said. This new Class C, 95 million people, 2 Spains. 31 million of them just came to Class C in the last decade, of around 2,000 euro monthly income, family monthly income. We have 100 million computers installed, and out of those 50% of them, 50 million, were on the 4 last years. And 220 million and growing mobile lines, 4 Spains in mobile lines. So there's a big economy shift. So if you mix that with my first slide, I think we will see again that you gotta choose correctly what you do in Brazil, because there is an enormous opportunity, but overall the country is not doing so great as people think. Digital is rocking. We are internet lovers. As Nelson Bruno said, number 2 on Twitter and Tumblr, number 3 on Facebook and Google+. E-commerce, $18 billion this year. And we have only 80 million web users. So this is really intense when you compare to 80 million web users. It's not a much amount of users, but a lot amount of internet action and money also in the e-commerce. VCs are coming there as never before. I said, bring your own money, and now I'm saying that VCs are there more than ever. Redpoint, Accel, Sequoia, Atomico, the Skype founder, 500 startup, Benchmark. So many different VCs are coming to Brazil. That is good news, but at the same time, you have to refer to my previous slide to understand what kind of things they are looking, what kind of entrepreneurs they are looking, what kind of size they are investing. So there is a much, much better situation than maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. That's for sure. But still, it's a very little segment, very little industry that is just beginning. Startups are very hot, and if you are a real, and I emphasize, in fact, entrepreneur, this is the right time to be in Brazil, as Nelson and Bruno said. And if you do it right, we will respect, and it will be great for both of us. Brazil is living a situation, as Bruno and Nelson said, not being said as the country of the future anymore, but as the country of the present. But at the same time, there are lots of big challenges that we need to face and that we are facing, but it will take a while. So there's not just a simple and easy opportunity. There's a interesting but hard opportunity when you go to Brazil. So that was basically my message. Welcome to Brazil, and thank you. I would be glad to be talking more with any one of you guys tomorrow at the, if I say in English, iSex booth. That's probably eSex, right? If anyone wants to come and talk and discuss and share cards, I will be more than happy to help, explain, discuss, and provide any information, extra information that you guys might need to go to Brazil. Thank you so much. I was fast. Pablo?
Because you have to know, as I know, a lot of people will approach you. This one, Opino is not a good
What?
company to do.
I was too fast. Anyone has a question? I can do entertainment here a little bit. Yes, go. Perception of what?
What is the perception of Spain in Brazil? What do Brazilians think about us? In general, like products and...
I think there are two, that's obviously a personal impression, right? A personal opinion. I think there are two main visions that are dominating now. The crisis, because that's on the press all the time, right? And the immigration problems, because you guys are not allowing some Brazilians, and now we're trying to do the same with you guys. That for me is a very stupid thing, the stupidest thing we could think about it. On the business side, I think it's a very neutral impression. I would not say it's positive, because I don't think it is. I think we have a positive impression of the US more, but I would not say it's a negative impression. I would say it's more neutral, and probably I think it comes from a big lack of information of what's going on here in fact. When we come to an event like that, and we go back to Brazil, I came last year, and everyone's saying, okay, but Spain is destroyed. And you say, no, I don't think exactly that. I saw a lot of energy, a lot of new startups, a lot of new companies appearing here. I didn't feel that, this country is not doing well. But when you go to the press, that's the impression that you have, right? So one hint that I think it's a good hint is you guys should, spread more good news, not just talk about the crisis, especially internationally, right? Because people like to, put big articles on how bad things are. Then you come here and see, hey, there's lots of things going on also, right?